Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. We are having a look at a bunch of the changes that have once again come in on the dev server. Gaijin didn't just update the dev server once, they updated the dev server twice today. And this is the second set of changes, plus some additional ones that I missed out previously. So let's get into them and see what's been going on. First of all, we have the MB326B. This vehicle here has access to a new BR. Instead of it being 7.0, it is now 6.7. And this makes sense, because if you compare it to its standard tech tree counterpart, this vehicle is just better than it in pretty much every way. It's got a better engine, it's got better guns, better loadouts, so yeah, dropping this 6.7, at least to me, makes a lot of sense. They've also changed how much it's going to cost. So previously, it was 7,480 GE, and now it's 8,020 GE. So they've actually put it up in price, which is kind of surprising. Other vehicles that have also changed in terms of BR, the MiG-25 PD has gone up. So in air, which is obviously the game mode where it matters the most, that is going to be in 11.0. So they're obviously realizing this thing's really quick. It's going to be really annoying to deal with for things. So they're going to start bumping up its BR and see where it kind of ends up. The other vehicle that has also changed is the P-CIM, which is this one right here. This vehicle has actually gone down in BR, surprisingly. This is the one we haven't really talked about too much. It's just a new coastal vehicle they're adding to the German tech tree. Has a really cool armament. They have moved it in the tech tree and also changed its name. So you'll find the P-CIM between the Burnout and the Hugin now. And also it is a lower BR. So it's at 4.3 instead of the other one. So overall kind of fun and generally quite nice. You may have seen a video earlier which has a bunch of elves either screaming or laughing or giggling, and that one is interesting. Those are the new Greenland voices that they've actually added into the game. Now, are they adding Greenland as a nation? The question is a bit silly because Greenland doesn't really have any of its own vehicles, but no, they're not. Greenland is being used as kind of the code name or code word for the Winter Event Voices and Winter Event Nation, which they seem to be working on some kind of winter, like individual independent event away from everything else. And they have put in a bunch of voices into the game, which is the elves kind of screaming or dying or laughing and all of this stuff. Because if you remember from the data mine the other day, it seems like they're going to pilot something similar to the M8 HMC or GMC, which is in the American tech tree, the Spud launcher firing snowballs. So they've actually technically added the nation of Greenland, but it's not really the nation of Greenland. They also added a new reload sound for the snowball cannon on the M8 HMC, so that's also pretty cool to see that's gone on as well. Some other changes that they've also made, the USSR, they have actually added in the proper setups for it, so the NO35 and also the AL41 F1S. We talked about these before, but what they've also done on top of this is they've changed a lot of the flight models of these vehicles. So pretty much all of the Su-27 series, and when I say Su-27, I mean kind of like the base one, right? So the standard Su-27 that you have here, all of the ones which are developed off it, which is like all of the Su-30 series, the Su-34, the 33, and all of these guys, they've all changed their flight model quite aggressively. The other thing as well is the Su-33 has a new pilot model, which is kind of fun, so at least that's there too. The Eurofighter for Germany also now has a built-in thermal pod, so that'll obviously make it a little bit easier for slinging ordnance, and also they do have extra ordnance options too. So these AESA vehicles aren't just going to be better at dealing with air-to-air targets with their new AESA radar. They're also going to have access to the Spice guided bombs. Now, if you remember the Spices, these are the ones which actually have access to the glide setup. So these are the Israeli ones that were added to a lot of top tier Israeli stuff, and now it's being added to others. These are also IR guided, so you'd just be able to sling them in and not really worry about them. They also have GNSS, so even if somebody breaks lock with something like a smoke, it doesn't matter. They'll just keep going until they reach where they last saw. This is being added into all of the Eurofighters, so it isn't just the German one, and you can also see they're going to get some Paveways as well on top of the Lightning 3 Pod 2. So more guided munitions to be able to annihilate stuff with. And just to kind of show you, this is the Tornado for Britain. You can see this one's getting exactly the same. And then also for Italy, they are getting exactly the same on theirs. Just to kind of show you the previous Tornado, just to show if that is getting access to those two. And the answer is no. So that will be a difference between the other two, or the two sets of Eurofighters, apart from the radar, which is obviously the main difference between these guys. Another thing to also mention is they've changed some things. So first of all, the FR1, they've changed its damage model and armor completely. So now it has these 3mm plates just before you see the cockpit. Then you have 2mm up here. You have 38mm of bulletproof glass. Then also 12.7mm of steel behind the cockpit just to try and keep the guy alive. They also added a unique sound for this. Tried to play it before and didn't really kind of set up, but that kind of sucks. Maybe in the future they will actually set that up. Another thing they've also added to the Eurofighters, and I may have said Tornado, I meant Typhoon, my bad. They have added access to 6 AIM-9Ms on it as well. So if you want to double pylon those things up, you can do 2, meaning that you can bring 6 overall, and then you can bring 4 of the active radars too. So just a nice little addition. The Su-30MKK, which I believe is the Chinese one. So this vehicle gets a new radar. It's the N001VE. This is just a copy-paste of the VEP, but maybe in the future it will have a few differences. For ground vehicles, the BMPTs are once again just getting upgraded little by little. And one of the things they've also done with the BMPs is not just slowly but surely modifying their armor and slowly but surely fixing the X-ray. They've also, at the same time, added in 2 of the 30mm instead of 1. So we're getting to the point where we're going to have both guns working instead of one of them right now. Now, there's no way to actually select between them at the moment, but just to let you know how the BMPT works, this vehicle in real life, you have 2 individual belts which go to 2 individual 30mm. So you can see them modeled in the dev server here. One of the belts is usually an AP belt. The other one is a HE belt. What this means is you cannot fire the guns at the same time. They're more designed to fire one gun at once and instead of both of them together. And that's how it's going to be represented in War Thunder 2. So my guess is what they'll do is if you switch ammo, you'll take 2 sets of ammo into the game with it. Right now you can only take 1 type. But once you hit that, it will actually fire the other gun instead of the one that you're using. So even though the vehicle has 2 guns modeled, you shouldn't be able to fire them at the same time. And if they do make it so they fire them at the same time, it's going to be a bit wild, because if you've ever seen them fire in real life at the same time, it looks absolutely insane. Because they just don't know what to do at the end of the day. There's also a bunch of changes to a lot of naval vehicles, but mostly it's just targeting speeds on specific guns and also angles of attack. They've also changed the Tosa, the big old battleship, which looks like it's going to be the winter event vehicle, but at the same time, it's one of those things that's not available yet, so I'll wait and see as it comes to it. They've also changed this launcher on the back, the Mark 13 for the Lutens, and they've changed its speed that it can actually move around, and the reload time has increased to 10 seconds instead of 8, which is, you know, not a huge amount, but it's definitely something to kind of note. At the same time, there's a few other economy changes which are based around the modifications that vehicles have got access to. Another modification that is being added is for the Gripen E, which is also getting access to the spikes, by the way. You can see here that it's Brimstones that it's going to be bringing in, and then also the spikes. So it gets very similar weaponry to the Eurofighters, which shouldn't really surprise anybody at all, because of how all of these things are set up. So there's a lot of stuff going on, right? And it doesn't even stop there. For the MKK for China, another thing they're also adding to this, since this is a specific Chinese version, is you also get access to specific Chinese weaponry. So this Su-30 gets the R-77s. It also gets access to the R-73s, but you also get the R-27ER1s, the PL-12s, which are the active radar homing missiles for the Chinese, and then also the PL-8Bs, which you can bring 6 of them. So this Russian-Chinese vehicle is not just going to have a mixture of electronics from China and flight model from Russia. It's also going to get a mix of its weapons too, which is just going to be all over the place. The Jaguar 2 has become fat. They've added a little bit of weight to it, just another chunky 1.5 tons. It's gone from 23 tons to 24.8, which is going to be quite handy. And also they did some changes to the Boxer, but not a huge amount, just a little bit overall. And it seems like the other winter event vehicle that's going to be coming in is probably a H-75, which is coming into China. The H-75 is one of those which we talked about on the first iteration of the dev server. It's actually on the dev server and on the live server in a few different setups that you can see here. But China, I don't think, has one at the moment. And it might be the lower tier premium. They've set it as an event vehicle instead of a pack premium. So that would indicate that's going to be the 4th event vehicle that's coming for the winter. So that's all the changes. As always, thank you for watching. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.